Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Uh, it's been a while since I last posted, and yeah, I mean, it can be a bit discouraging when you know there is not much feedback coming, and I don't have the skills required to run a YouTube channel. I get obsessed with things. I think people with ADHD can relate to that. And after a while, I get exhausted and move on to something else. So back in like December, uh, I was feeling really agitated, uh, and I thought perhaps uh, I should, focus on my creativity. And I started uh, feeling a bit motivated, and I started uh, playing chess uh, as a beginner. Uh, because you might be aware that it creates this stimulation, uh, because it requires strategic thinking and all that, and anything that is not familiar uh, will always sharpen the brain. So anyways, I did that, and then alongside I started writing in my journal. And I had this book which I had not read, a novel uh, called French Lover. It's a random read. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was not that bad. I took it as an exercise, and I started reading it little by little. Every day I would read for like 10 to 15 minutes, uh, because I couldn't concentrate. Uh, I I would read it uh, aloud, and that would help me, understand what I'm reading. Because if you are in that state where you are unable to concentrate when you try to read something, uh, you can see words, but your brain is not responding somewhere, right? So uh, that is that is the main reason why I realized how much it is important to read and write. And then I continued that. Uh, I mean, I'm still doing it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it is still at that obsession phase, uh, because it hasn't been that long. And I got so enthusiastic about reading because I finished this book called French Lover by Taslima Nasreen, I think that's her name. And then this author, quite famous from Japan, is he's called Haruki Murakami. His book Kafka on the Shore. I thought that was quite interesting, uh, and that motivated me to, look forward to reading his other books. And yeah, I could see that, my brain was improving, and it's not something that will happen just by finishing one book. It's a constant exercise you have to do for the rest of your life, just like anything. And yeah, so I went got this book called 1Q84 by the same author. I read almost half of it. I wasn't satisfied with it at all. Anyway, but the fact that I am reading something means a lot to me, because concentrating had always been, this task challenge for me. And so I got various other books, like 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Marquez. Uh, he I read like 100 pages, and I was really impressed by his writing. But because his writing is quite dense, it's not easy to read, like, you have to be really focused to appreciate what he has written. Otherwise, I feel there's no point in reading. I mean, you can just repeat what is written, but uh, I mean, it can help you with your exercise. But sometimes you just want to savor something so special. uh, and yeah, so I liked it so much that I, uh, by mistake, got a copy of the same book, uh, and it was a blunder that I was making. I have this problem of repeating my mistakes, and anyways, I gave that book to somebody, and then I got these two books by Elif Shafak. Uh, One is called 10 Minutes, 38 Seconds in This Strange World. And this new book released last year called There Are Rivers in the Sky. So I have read this one a little bit. It's hard for me to complete a task. I also started reading Murakami's Norwegian Wood. Yeah, you must be wondering, like, how come he's reading so many books at the same time? Yeah, it is something that only a person with severe ADD can relate to, I think, because if we are not in our uh, zone, we tend to do these things. We start one thing, leave that, jump to something else, because we this disorder, what it does is uh, it's basically an interest based kind of anomaly. uh, I wish I could describe it better. But what happens is we tend to do things out of interest or mood, because we have little that dopamine, compared to a normal person. uh, you know we can get really overwhelmed by doing something that requires a lot of concentration. So we might start something, but we would get exhausted, or we may not be able to do something for the heck of it, because the main thing is that, the discipline part, you know it's like, if you have always been like this, and you are someone like me, who's reached their mid 30s, you feel really rigid, and your body already is fatigued. So uh, everything feels like a task, you know uh, it's a bit like PTSD, I think. You you feel a bit strange, uh, because something that you enjoyed. For example, I used to watch movies a lot. You know, uh, I watched like 600 films in a year, and suddenly I stopped doing that. Uh, so I was watching those films only because I found it interesting. It wasn't something that was alien to me, right? If I would be uh, doing something like, let's say, yoga, or going outside every day, that is a challenge, because it's not something that comes naturally to me. Writing comes naturally to me, reading comes naturally to me. So uh, it's easier to do that, but one has to think, how can I uh, perform certain tasks that uh, are not only interesting but are also beneficial for me, because you have to work on your neuroplasticity, uh, and you have to keep that balance between enjoying, you know uh, your whatever task you're doing, and uh, make sure that it is benefiting you as well. For example, if you want to exercise but you are too lazy to do that, you can just dance for half an hour, let's say, and just dancing, because it doesn't feel like you are working. So you won't even realize that you are exercising, because your body is getting that stimulation. Just like when you when you read something that interests you, you don't feel like you're reading, but you are reading, and it is stimulating your brain, although you may not feel that. We don't always realize that something is benefiting us, uh, but we have to use a common sense that yes, just performing this task is helping me grow. Just like when you're eating something healthy, you are getting better. For example, a person who uh, wants to eat something healthy but is not naturally, motivated to do that, he will try to make a really delicious dish that he enjoys eating, and that will help him, change his diet, uh, and he will be benefiting from that. So uh, people who are attention deficit, or have, they fall in that neurodivergence. We can have issues. Uh, it doesn't matter what your gender is. What matters is that you uh, focus on where you are coming from. Everybody has their weaknesses and strengths. And my there was a teacher who used to come to my house to tutor me, and he used to say a really simple thing, that never underestimate yourself. Because I used to be in this self-loathing all the time, because I could not study properly. I was never interested in studies to begin with. uh, and he would encourage me like that, and I would be motivated to at least give it a try. Because somewhere in your subconscious, as children, we can develop this image about ourselves. If we are underachievers, uh, if we have failed, we might believe for various reasons that we are not good enough, or we are failures or losers, or we can't do anything in life. And that really hampers or hinders our progress or growth. And we have to make sure that we work on that. uh, it doesn't matter what people think of you, what they perceive. They can think whatever they want, and most people who are thinking negative about you are actually projecting. you know 99% of the people are projecting. They don't know any better. They have their own insecurities, they have their own problems, and somewhere, you know if you observe yourself, we try to put others down when we are not feeling good about ourselves, and that boosts our ego. But it's not a healthy thing. Unfortunately, it will not benefit anybody. uh, but this is how the world is. There is this dark side where people use such tactics to to cope with the real world or whatever. So anyways, uh, I would encourage anybody who wants to improve their uh, brain function, who wants to um, you know evolve as a person, to read fiction. It's okay if you read non-fiction, as long as you're reading a bit of everything. You do learn a lot. And writing for yourself in your journal can do wonders. And I feel I should make another uh, post about writing. But in a nutshell, writing is is a catharsis. You know, uh, Catharsis means purification of oneself or release of emotions. But I believe that the origin of the word is from katha, which is story. So catharsis is storytelling. You are telling your story, right? And it's so beautiful when you think about it. It's a Sanskrit word, katha. Uh, so that's where Kathak comes from, the dance used to tell a story. Kathak, uh, it originated in India, and of course, people in Pakistan also uh, practice that craft. But it's about the essence, the meaning of it. You know, uh, that is so important to understand, uh, that storytelling is something uh, we all perform in our heads. We all are storytellers, but we don't realize that, you know, just like we all are dreamers. We, when we fall asleep, we dream, we are telling a story. But because it's happening at an unconscious level, we don't pay attention to it. But there is a part of us that is telling a story, and that shows how creativity is present in every sentient being, not just humans, but also plants and animals. Uh, but the more conscious you are, the more you are able to uh, think and reason and uh, make choices. So yeah, so just wanted to put that out there. uh, I thought that I should do something different out of the blue. It has been a long time, I think maybe 4 or 5 months, and yeah. So if somebody is listening, then I hope you resonate with it. I hope this helps, and do share your comments, feedback, whatever you feel. And I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.